Who doesn't like a great classic JRPG? Well, today, after the success of our top 10 JRPGs on the Nintendo Switch, we're going to take a look at our top 10 classics in the same format. I'm Juan Romero, and along with Jordan, we're going to pick 5 each, and you decide the winner for a bit of fun. Like last time, we'll tell you which emoji to choose to signify who you think chose their best games. Last time it looks like both Jordan and I split the crowd, which is awesome. Let's see about this time. Jordan, I think, is going to start strong again. We both love this game, but it has a little bit more of a special place in his heart. Jordan, take it away.
Thanks, my man. Alright, let's get the controversy out of the way first. Anytime Final Fantasy is mentioned, there is a lot of emotion and debate. Since we can only pick one game from a particular series, I would not be able to live with myself if I did not pick my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII. Whether you like 7, 9, 10, 12, even Triple Triad the game on the Switch, you can't go wrong with any of them. But for me, 7 has the best characters, the best story, and gives me more warm feelings than I can possibly express. It literally pains me to talk about this game because I want to say so much, but words that are good enough, they just always escape me. I cannot do it justice. This game was a life changer. It opened my eyes and captivated me in a way no other game has since. It's always been cool to hate on Final Fantasy VII for being popular, but its impact on the industry is still felt to this day. This is available digitally on the Switch, of course, but Asia and Europe got a tasty double pack of 7 and Triple Triad, and purchase links are below. It's an essential physical in my opinion, and it also helps supporters at the same time.
Thanks, Jordan. What a start again, buddy. Last time with Shin Megami Tensei, and now this. I'm going for my first choice, another Square Enix classic JRPG, that is Romancing Saga 3. The game came to the West for the first time, but it was originally released in Japan back in 1995. It's a HD remaster, which has remastered visuals, a new dungeon, Game Plus mode, and some new scenarios. Granted, it's not as accessible as some other JRPGs on this list, but I like the fact that there are 8 characters to choose from, and an adventure would be defined by your own choices here. It's rather complex, but I found it to be rewarding the more I played and sunk many hours into it. For a classic, for me, it was all about finding out what to do myself in this open world game where you can easily sink 25 plus hours into it. It even has a map for fast travel to places that you've already been, and talking to folks is a great way of unlocking new places. Finding better gear and learning new skills and spells always kept me motivated. A great classic JRPG, which for me plays really well on the Nintendo Switch.
Alright, is it too early to bend the rules? Because the Grandia Collection, okay, it has 2 games in the collection, damn it, but come on, Juan, you can't take that away from me. He keeps making it so tough. But I'm getting away with this one because, you know, there are 2 games worth revisiting if you've not already played them, and they're just classic JRPGs. Look, they're not exactly the best ports on the Switch. There are a few little bugs and glitches here and there, but for me, I really love the battle systems, which is a mix of turn-based and real-time, which all works on a timeline system, allowing you to mess around with your enemy's attack by interrupting them, for example. Even your position has a part to play in your strategy and what moves you can successfully pull off. These were the days when I could just get lost in it all, and while the stories of both games do not continue, they're very separate, who cares? They're both unique in their own way, and down below I want to know which one you prefer. Alright, Juan, for God's sake, I'll have to tell you my pick. It's gonna have to be Grandia 1. Yes, I think I prefer Grandia 1 over Grandia 2. It's just a fun, unique little adventure. Kind of reminds me of the Goonies early on. Just kids going on an adventure, and I really like it. God damn it, Juan. This is available physically, or it was available physically via limited run games in North America, but if you don't want to pay a few $100s for that these days, there is an Asian version which does have English, and there are links below if you want to pick that up.
Jordan, you are very a Grandia being, my friend. I can smell the cheese already, so moving on to my next pick, which is Tales of Vesperia. Who doesn't like saving the world? In this edition of Tales of Vesperia, we have the definitive edition, which at the time celebrated its 10-year anniversary. I might get a bit of flack as this might not be classic enough, but I'm going with it. We have HD visuals, new music, bosses, and even minigames. Here, 2 friends who are traveling separate paths intertwined in an epic adventure where a power struggle has begun in a civilization that depends on ancient tech. That would be like Jordan, relying on his 2011 Mac then to make videos, but the update is on its way, I hear, buddy. Bet you cannot wait. Now, what I like about this JRPG is the battle system is rather different in that battles are very similar to a fighting game. You control one character and the rest in your party are controlled via AI. The story surprised me also in how much it tugged the heartstrings. For me, it's an excellent port of a game I first played on the 360. On Switch, I think it's a must-buy and worth its place in this top 10 list.
I would be doing a massive disservice to our folks watching this video if I didn't just go ahead and recommend the Collection of Mana. Okay, this is 3 games, I'm cheating even more, but goddammit, it has Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana here, and all in one collection. The third game now localized for Western players to enjoy. However, for the purposes of this list, I think Secret of Mana is an absolutely essential JRPG, but then again, playing Trials of Mana after Secret is just a fantastic experience. There's so many options to play with these games, so don't ask me which one to choose because I'll just be a really unhappy bunny. Great music, Zelda-style action in which you can move around and use your weapons in battle, and while the visuals have aged, they are still charming as ever. Fantastic pixel art, the collection of... Oh, wait, hang on a minute. Legend of Mana. Legend of Mana, there's Legend of Mana. Juan, balls to the Collection of Mana. Forget that, I'm choosing Legend of Mana Remastered. There's an Asian physical of that with English. You buy it because it's just absolutely lovely.
Cheat. Too much cheating going on by Jordan. I think I should win by default. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think. I'll let you know which emoji to pick soon. The Mana series is great, Jordan, but I think a Dragon Quest series is even better. And with Dragon Quest 11 featuring on our top 10 JRPG list, I'm going to choose, for this classic list, a Dragon Quest 3. The character art here blends nicely, in my opinion, with the backgrounds. The soundtrack's absolutely awesome, and a great improvement here is being able to heal your whole party at the touch of a button with the relevant items. A day-night cycle brings differing enemies to fight too, but the storyline in part 3 really keeps you engaged. As Ortega, you are to defeat Baramos. On your journey, there is plenty to explore. Random battles at times can be a little frustrating, but otherwise, a very worthwhile experience worth experiencing. And there's a lovely physical edition too, links in the description.
I chose Shin Megami Tensei 5 on our top 10 JRPGs for the modern era, but if you want a classic Shin Megami Tensei experience on the Nintendo Switch, then Part 3 is pretty awesome. Originally dropped in 2003, I played it on the PS2 and I was taken in by its dark theme and challenging gameplay. Now, 18 years later, I'm an old dude with much less hair. Goddamn, time flies. This remaster has nice new 3D models and backgrounds, more difficulty settings, voices in both English and Japanese, and you can save the game whenever you need to. I love that. The battles here were very tense, and I found it to have good strategies if you want to win, and it's not changed here. Playing it now, maybe with my nostalgia glasses on, is still compelling as I remembered it to be. The soundtrack is effing awesome, and the way the story presents itself is just ridiculously compelling. I would say I appreciate this game even more now than I did back in the day, and honestly, it is a masterpiece, and a game that has to be played if you missed it the first time around.
Wow, Jordan, with Final Fantasy VII and Shin Megami Tensei, you may have just taken the lead, but it's not over yet. My next classic, and I hope that my nostalgic childhood story wins you wonderful people over. It's Sega Age's Phantasy Star. Now, this gives me nostalgic vibes all over, and I know nostalgia counts for very little to someone who is a newcomer to a game, but for me, so damn powerful. Gives me so many fond memories, this one, of me really testing my mother's patience. And even though I'm now into my 40s, I know, don't rub it in, it was my birthday today. Back then, I was lucky enough in '89 to have a Master System that my mother bought me. And at Christmas, my family member bought me Phantasy Star. And I looked at that cover and that was it. I put it in the Master System. I was absolutely hooked. I mean, I was about 9 at the time. I couldn't imagine, I didn't even know what sort of top-down view sort of meant, really. All I knew that there was a top-down view that would switch into this first-person view, and I was absolutely stunned. I'd get lost in dungeons for friggin' hours. They all looked the bloody same, and there was no maps in the game at the time, from what I recall anyway. I may be wrong, but I'm certain that one of the improvements on the Switch version is a little mini-map. And my mum would tell me to go to bed. I'd lie to her. I'd say, yeah, I'm in bed. But the reality was I was trying to figure out where to go in these dungeons, and I was nuts about it. Had a bit of a sci-fi story going on. There was a wizard, a warrior, and a blinking cat which spoke. And I dreamed of this game every night, woke up wanting to play it, leading to my Master System actually being taken out of my bedroom and being put on a 1 hour limit per day. I was absolutely devastated until my friend got the Master System. I'd take the cartridge with me on sleepovers and we'd explore, get into battles into the night. The joy of him having a mother who was more lax about the rules. Now, I bought this day one when it came onto the Switch, and while it has aged, of course, I still enjoy playing it from time to time to revisit those wonderful times back in my childhood, and I rate it very highly as a classic JRPG. I think it took me about 3 months to complete with my 1 hour a day playtime in those days, but wonderful memories.
Quality childhood story there, Juan. The beauty of games we played back in the day. Now for another, and that is Saga Frontier Remastered, a classic JRPG from 1998, which is much like the modern Octopath Traveler, which was picked in our more modern JRPGs list. This also has 8 characters to choose with their own story and goals, and they come together very well indeed. Saga Frontier Remastered has improved visuals on the Switch, and the UI has seen a much needed improvement. For those looking to get through the game a little bit quicker, there is a speed mode as well. A charming game in my opinion, and one that should definitely be played on your Nintendo Switch. Check out my review for more information because I absolutely love this game. If it weren't such an old ass game, it would be probably my game of the year. Check out the Asian physical version because it does have English, and yes, you should own it in your collection. Thanks everyone for today, and thanks for Juan for being a worthy adversary. I think I kicked his arse though, even though I kind of bended the rules a little bit. But yeah, if you agree with my list, be sure to leave me a sword emoji in the comments. Yes, a sword emoji. That means you agree with me, and it means you're awesome. So choose me because you like me, and you like Final Fantasy VII, and you don't mind breaking rules because rules are for losers. Alright, see you next time.
Thanks very much, Jordan. I've chosen some classic JRPGs, but for my last game on the list today, I'm going for Star Ocean First Departure R. This first came out in '96 on the Super Famicom and was remade on the PSP in 2007, so you may have already played this on a handheld console. This version is the PSP version with high definition visuals on the Switch, some alterations to the battle system, and some newly drawn avatars. I always like the real-time battles here, but some may find the random encounters a little frustrating these days. I have a real soft spot for the fantasy setting and mixing in sci-fi, and there is the ability to craft and create items, which has allowed you to create items suited to the way you want to play, which I think was rather in-depth and still holds its own today, with plenty of quests and dungeons to take part in and around 20 hours to complete. It's a compelling title in this list, and if you want a classic JRPG which is also voiced in Japanese and English, this is for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to pick a winner. Jordan said to pick a sword if you want him to win. Now, in terms of choosing a character in JRPGs, I always tend to go for a wizard if I have that option. So if you want to pick me, choose a wizard emoji in the comments. I just want to say I didn't cheat by choosing any collection or slipping in another game in there at the last minute. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been an absolute joy, and I have to say I'm very much enjoying putting these top 10 battle lists together. And if you're enjoying them too and you like these shorter lists, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. We want to know your favorite classic JRPG, and we also want to be told if we've made a massive error in judgment by not including a top classic JRPG, so let us know. Thank you to all of our members. I can't put into words how much we appreciate your support. All of our wonderful subscribers too, and if you're not subbed yet, then there's a carrot dangling for you as well. Consider doing so you can win a Nintendo Switch OLED when we reach 100,000 subscribers. If you're still watching, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jordan. We'll see you on the next battle.